Every single day, you're building your life, either toward greatness or away from it. And the truth is, most people aren't failing because of a lack of potential or a lack of opportunity. They're failing because of the things they refuse to stop doing. If you want to change your life, you've got to stop sabotaging your own progress. Let's talk about the 5 things you absolutely must avoid if you're serious about leveling up your life. These are the silent killers of dreams, the invisible chains holding you back. And once you become aware of them, you can break free starting today. Number 1, stop waiting to feel ready. You're not supposed to feel ready. Readiness is a trap. If you keep waiting to feel confident, motivated, or in the mood, you're going to be stuck in the same place next year. Every big leap in life starts with discomfort. The moment you stop waiting and start doing, that's when change begins. Number 2, stop seeking approval. The need for other people's validation is one of the biggest blocks to success. You don't need their permission. You don't need everyone to understand you. When you start living for likes or applause, you lose your authenticity, and the world doesn't need another watered-down version of you. It needs the real thing. Make your choices based on what you value, not on what's going to make people clap. Number 3, stop making excuses. Yes, your past was hard. Yes, life threw you curveballs, but you know what? You are not your excuses. Every excuse you tell yourself is a lie dressed up in logic. Your brain wants comfort. Growth lives in discomfort. The second you stop defending your limitations, you give yourself permission to rise. Number 4, stop surrounding yourself with energy drainers. If the people around you constantly gossip, complain, or belittle your ambitions, it's time to set boundaries or walk away. Energy is contagious. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, don't be surprised when your own fire starts to dim. You need to be around people who ignite your vision, not extinguish it. Number 5, stop overthinking. Analysis paralysis is the enemy of progress. You don't need a perfect plan, you need to take action. The most successful people in the world aren't the ones who think the most, they're the ones who do the most. If something matters to you, take the step. Messy action is always better than perfect hesitation. You keep waiting to feel ready. You tell yourself you'll start when the timing's right, when you're more confident. When you have more experience, more knowledge, when life finally settles down. But let me tell you something that most people don't want to admit. You will never feel completely ready. That feeling of readiness you're hoping for, that sudden moment when everything makes sense, when the fear disappears, when you feel fully equipped and totally confident, it doesn't exist. It's a myth. And if you keep chasing it, you're going to stay stuck in the exact same place you are right now. Success doesn't begin with certainty. It begins with movement. You grow into confidence by showing up and doing the hard, uncomfortable things before you feel like it. Waiting for confidence before you take action is like waiting to be fit before you go to the gym. It just doesn't work that way. You build the muscle by showing up, not by sitting on the sidelines thinking about showing up. The truth is, your brain is wired to protect you. It's not wired for greatness. It's wired for survival. So every time you think about taking a risk, starting a business, changing careers, having that tough conversation, getting up early to work on your goals, your brain sends up the alarm. It feeds you thoughts like, now's not the right time, or what if you fail, or you're not qualified. And you believe it. You mistake those warnings for logic, when really, they're just fear in disguise. If you want to do something meaningful with your life, you have to move despite the fear, despite the doubt, despite the discomfort. The most successful people you admire, they weren't fearless when they started. They were just courageous enough to act anyway. They made the call, sent the email, took the risk, spoke up, messed up, tried again. They didn't wait to feel ready. They chose to move forward, unready, and figured it out along the way. Here's what no one tells you. You don't need more time, more money, or more motivation. You need more courage to act in the absence of those things. because that's what creates momentum. That's what changes your life. The first step is always the hardest, and it's supposed to be, but the second step gets easier. And the third one, that's when you start believing in yourself. But you don't get there if you never take step one. Think about how many opportunities you've already let pass you by just because you were waiting. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for a sign, waiting for the fear to go away, and guess what? All that waiting got you was more doubt, more regret, and more frustration. Because deep down, you know you're capable of more. You're just scared of being uncomfortable. But here's the thing, discomfort is not your enemy. It's your compass. It's the direction you should lean into, not run from. You are never going to wake up one day and magically feel ready to change your life. That decision doesn't fall from the sky. It comes from you. It's a moment of boldness, a moment where you finally say enough. I'm done playing small. And in that moment, you move, not because it's easy, but because staying stuck is no longer an option. You don't need to know how it will all work out. You just need to start. The how will reveal itself after you commit, after you leap, after you take the messy, uncertain, uncomfortable first step. That's when the path appears. Not before, so stop waiting for permission. Stop waiting for certainty. Stop waiting to feel like the kind of person who does big things. You already are, but you'll never become that person until you start acting like them. Right now, not tomorrow, not next week, not when the stars align. Right now, this is your moment. You don't need to feel ready. You just need to go. One of the most dangerous traps we fall into is trying to live our lives to make other people happy. You might not even realize you're doing it. You smile when you want to scream. You agree when you want to say no. You shrink when you want to stand tall. Why? Because you're afraid of what people will think. You're afraid of judgment, rejection, criticism. You're chasing approval like it's the golden ticket to success and peace. But here's the truth no one likes to talk about. The more you chase approval, the more disconnected you become from yourself. Seeking validation from others is a habit that slowly robs you of your voice. You start making choices based on what's acceptable, not what's meaningful. You stop asking, what do I want? And instead wonder, what will they think? And every time you do that, you chip away at your authenticity. Your dreams get filtered, your ideas get watered down, your actions get edited, and over time you wake up one day realizing you've been living a life that doesn't even belong to you. Approval is a moving target. What makes people love you today might be the very thing they hate tomorrow. You could be kind and still be misunderstood. You could be successful and still be criticized. You could be honest and still be rejected. No matter how hard you try, you will never control how others see you. But what you can control is how true you are to yourself. If your self-worth is built on someone else's opinion, you'll constantly feel like you're not enough. And no amount of likes, compliments, or applause will ever satisfy the emptiness that comes from betraying who you really are. The only validation that truly matters is the kind you give yourself. When you know who you are and what you stand for, the noise around you loses power. You don't need permission to be you. You don't need everyone to agree with your choices. What you need is the courage to stand firm in your truth. Even when it's unpopular. Authenticity isn't loud, it's rooted. It doesn't beg for attention, it commands respect. And the people who matter, the ones who genuinely support you, they'll respect you more for being real than for being agreeable. You were not put on this earth to fit in. You were not born to please, impress, or entertain everyone else. Your uniqueness, your perspective, your voice, it's your gift. But if you keep hiding it just to avoid friction or discomfort, the world misses out on who you truly are. You miss out, and let me remind you, regret doesn't come from speaking your truth. It comes from silencing it. Some of the most powerful breakthroughs in your life will come when you stop trying to be liked and start focusing on being real. Let people misunderstand you. Let them criticize you. Let them judge. That's their path, not yours. Your job isn't to keep everyone comfortable. Your job is to be honest about what matters to you, your values, your goals, your vision, and if that threatens someone, so be it. That's not your problem to solve. You have one life, one shot, and every moment you spend trying to earn someone else's approval is a moment you've abandoned your own voice. That voice inside you, that whisper of intuition, that spark of creativity, that deep knowing, that's who you really are. Listen to it, trust it, honor it, because when you start acting in alignment with your truth, you'll stop needing everyone else to validate it. You're not here to be perfect. You're here to be real, to be bold, to be fearless in your truth. The world doesn't need more people who blend in. It needs more people who are brave enough to stand out. And that starts with one decision: to stop chasing approval and start owning your power. You're not too much. You're not too loud. You're not too different. You are exactly what this world needs. If you stop trying to be what it expects and start being who you truly are. Stop apologizing for your truth. Stop hiding. And most importantly, stop waiting for others to tell you that you're enough. You already are. Excuses are the invisible walls between where you are and where you want to be. They sound reasonable, they feel justified, but they're the lies you tell yourself to stay comfortable. You say, I don't have time. But if something caught fire in your life, your job, your health, someone you loved, you'd make time. You'd move mountains. So let's call it what it is. It's not about time, it's about priorities. And too often, you prioritize staying safe over stepping into your potential. Excuses feel good in the moment. They protect your ego. They give you something to lean on when things get hard. But what they really do is trap you in place. They keep you from taking responsibility. Because if it's someone else's fault, or if the timing just isn't right, then you don't have to act. You don't have to risk failing. And that's what makes excuses so dangerous. They become your escape route from growth. But here's the truth you need to hear. Your excuses are not facts. They are stories. Stories that you've repeated so many times that you've started to believe them. You've convinced yourself you're too old, too young, too late, too broken. You've told yourself you're not smart enough, not connected enough, not lucky enough. But all of that is noise. The only thing standing between you and your next level is your willingness to stop buying your own limitations. People love to say, I'll start when things calm down. But life doesn't calm down. Life keeps moving. There will always be chaos. There will always be something in the way. Waiting for perfect conditions is another form of procrastination, and deep down you know it. The conditions don't create your success. Your decision does. You're not stuck because of your circumstances. You're stuck because you keep telling yourself that your circumstances are bigger than your power to change them. But you have choices. You've always had choices. Even if they're not easy or glamorous, they're still there. The question is whether you're brave enough to choose action over excuses. Growth never comes without discomfort. That's why excuses feel easier. They keep you where nothing changes, nothing grows, and nothing threatens your sense of security. But if nothing changes, then neither do you, and that's the tragedy. You were built for more, but you're settling for less because it's familiar. It's time to take ownership of your time, of your energy, of your mindset. That means cutting loose the excuses you've been leaning on. Start catching yourself when you say things like I can't, or I don't know how, or it's not the right time. Catch it and challenge it. Ask yourself, is this the truth, or is this just fear in disguise? You don't need to be perfect. You don't need all the answers. You just need to stop letting your excuses speak louder than your desire for change. The moment you stop defending your limits is the moment you begin breaking them. If you want a better life, you have to stop settling for the stories that keep you small. Let go of your excuses. Replace them with action. Any action, even messy, imperfect, awkward action, because progress isn't about doing it right. It's about doing it regardless. You have one shot at this life. Are you really going to spend it making excuses for why you can't be who you were meant to be? Or are you going to finally decide that enough is enough and move? The choice is yours, and no excuse in the world is stronger than your decision to rise. You will never think your way into a perfect life. You can plan, analyze, and map out every possible move, but if you never act, none of it matters. Overthinking is one of the most subtle, most deceptive forms of self-sabotage. It feels productive. It feels responsible. But in reality, it's fear in disguise. It's your mind convincing you that maybe if you just think a little longer, you'll finally feel ready or safe or certain. But the truth is, no amount of thinking will ever replace action. Your brain loves certainty. It wants to protect you, so it creates these endless thought loops to keep you from risk. What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not good enough? What if I fail and people laugh? Those questions don't come from your potential. They come from your fear. And if you feed them long enough, they will paralyze you. You'll end up sitting on a dream for years just because you're afraid to make the wrong move. But what you don't realize is that inaction is the wrong move. You cannot learn, grow, or succeed without putting yourself in motion. You figure things out by doing, not by thinking about doing. The most successful people are not the ones who have everything figured out. They're the ones who are willing to make decisions, take risks, fail forward, and keep going. They act, they stumble, they adjust, and they build their life brick by brick through action, not perfection. Overthinking creates a fantasy world where everything has to be just right before you start. But life doesn't work that way. Nothing is ever just right. You don't get to skip the messy parts. You don't get to wait until you feel no fear. The clarity you're looking for, it's on the other side of movement. You don't think your way into confidence. You earn confidence through action, repetition, and proof, and you can't get any of that if you're stuck in your head. It's not that you're unmotivated or undisciplined. It's that you're afraid of being imperfect. But perfection is a myth. It's a moving target you'll never hit. And the longer you chase it, the more you delay your growth. You don't need perfect. You need real. You need messy progress. You need momentum. Because momentum, even when it's clumsy, is more powerful than the best idea you never acted on. You need to stop analyzing your dreams to death. Stop waiting for a guarantee. Stop trying to find the safest way forward. There is no safe way to chase something extraordinary. There's only courage. Courage to start before you're ready. Courage to be bad at something new. Courage to fail and get back up. Courage to be seen trying. That's what builds a powerful life. Not a flawless plan, but a relentless spirit. So make the call, send the email, record the video, launch the idea. Apply for the job, speak up, step in. Because while you're overthinking, someone else with half your talent and twice your courage is doing the thing you're still thinking about. And they're winning, not because they're better, but because they moved. You will never be perfect, but you are capable, and that's enough. Let go of the need to have it all figured out. Let go of the fear of what might go wrong. And most of all, let go of the lie that more thinking will save you. It won't. Only bold, imperfect action will. Your future doesn't need another thought. It needs your first step. Take it now. You can have all the ambition in the world, but if you're constantly surrounded by negative people, you will feel like you're dragging your life uphill with 100-pound weight tied to your back. Energy is contagious. Whether it's positive or negative, it spreads, and most people don't even realize that the people they talk to, listen to, and spend time with are shaping their mindset every single day. You become like the energy you allow around you. That's why protecting your space isn't selfish, it's survival. Negative people aren't always obvious. They're not just the loud critics or the outright toxic ones. Sometimes they're disguised as friends, coworkers, or even family. They're the people who mock your goals, roll their eyes when you try something new, or feed you doubt dressed up as concern. Are you sure you can do that? That sounds risky. Why don't you just play it safe? At first, it seems harmless. But over time, those small comments begin to shape the way you think. You begin to second, guess yourself, you shrink, you play smaller, not because you believe less in yourself, but because you've absorbed their doubt. You need to understand this. Your environment either fuels your fire or smothers it, and you can't expect to grow if you're constantly watering your potential with poison. It doesn't matter how disciplined or driven you are. If you're constantly surrounded by fear, drama, gossip, or complaining, it's going to drag you down. It's like trying to run a marathon with someone holding onto your ankles. Eventually, you'll get tired, and worst of all, you'll think it's your fault. The people around you matter. You need voices that speak life into your vision, not death. You need people who challenge you to rise, not people who are silently hoping you fail so they feel better about staying stuck. And yes, it might mean distancing yourself from people you love. That's hard, that's uncomfortable, but your future depends on it. You don't have to hate them. You don't have to cut them off with drama. But you do have to guard your energy. Not everyone deserves access to your time, your focus, or your peace. You've got dreams to build. You've got healing to do. You've got work that matters. And you can't do it if you're constantly fighting the weight of negativity that others bring into your life. Start being intentional about who you let in your space. Ask yourself, does this person inspire me or drain me? Do they push me forward or pull me back? Do I feel lighter or heavier after being around them? Your answers will tell you everything you need to know. And when you realize someone is dimming your light, you owe it to yourself to step away, even if it's uncomfortable. This isn't about being arrogant. It's about being responsible. Your energy is one of your greatest assets. It fuels your focus, your discipline, your creativity, your resilience. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Your dreams are too big, your purpose is too important, and your time is too short to waste it surrounded by people who keep you small. There will always be people who won't understand your journey,